So we asked the clubs to prepare a detailed submission and to present that to us. Clearly we wanted to highlight what they wanted to do and how they wanted to go about it, but it also needed to flag why it would be good for the WAFL competition, how it would protect the integrity of that competition, but also be good for West Australian football in total. They presented the submission to the Football Commission Tuesday night, and again this morning it was presented to the WAFL clubs, Community Football Council, WA Amateur Football League, WA Country Football League and the District Chairman. The next step for us will be to work with the WAFL over the course of the next month or so to determine what process we want to follow in considering this proposal, to continue to engage with the WAFL, to continue to engage with the AFL teams, the AFL clubs to work through and make sure we give it due consideration. There's a myriad of issues. It's a complex matter, and so from our point of view we think that it needs time to be properly considered. As a result, there is no deadline for us to give an answer on this particular point, but rather we want to make sure we invest the time to properly consider it and work it through.
The opportunity to work together over the past few months to prepare this joint proposal. It's a 52-page comprehensive document, and we believe we've put together a compelling joint argument that will make WA football stronger for the future and also assist us in the competitive landscape of the AFL.
It took a lot of research. We've had Dean Peters and Rachel Parnaby working hard on this for 3 or 4 months, getting all the statistics together, and there's a lot behind this document as well, a lot of statistics, a lot of work. And the two clubs really believe in this. We believe that it's going to be extremely beneficial for the two AFL teams. But in saying that, the deeper we delve, the more compelling we think the argument is for a stronger football system in Western Australia. And I think together, yes, we have our difference of opinion on a few issues, but generally there's a consensus of what's in the best interests of our clubs and the game. So we've had that in the back of our minds from the time we started, and we think that's why we've come up with such a compelling argument. And there'll be a lot of discussion about the twos and why are we doing this, what's it for. But we think if we don't evolve and keep changing, keep doing some things for the future, it's not a sustainable system as it is today. About 5 or 6 years ago, when this first came up with talking to our coaching staff, and John in particular, it was the furthest thing from my mind. I certainly would have been against it 5 years ago, and I expressed my point of view. But the more we've travelled down the path, I mean, the last couple of years in particular, the landscape's changed. It's a different game now at AFL level. There is more involvement you need with your players. The players actually demand more. They demand more from a welfare point of view, from a control and encouragement point of view, how they live, where they come from, and they want to be together. So it's a compelling argument from that point of view. It's also compelling from what we've seen the other clubs doing in the AFL system, and we think in time they'll all have standalone teams. There's enough of them now to suggest that that's happening, and we believe the clubs are improving through that. So we think we're at a disadvantage. Having said all that, it is, you do, when we're both from WAFL backgrounds and we love the WAFL system, it's not about destroying the WAFL system, it's about making it better. And if we didn't do the research and didn't have the compelling argument, we wouldn't have put it forward.
So just on that, I mean, it's just not about us, Tim, and how we can improve and perhaps keep pace with our competitors. 14 of the 18 teams have either got standalone teams or aligned teams, and we're behind the 8 ball and we need to address it quickly. But we've collectively tried to look at it and what can we bring to the WAFL as well. And we think the consultation process that we went through over the last few months with meeting each of the 9 WAFL clubs was really useful in, I guess, trying to isolate what are those opportunities and issues that we can address, and we think we've done that in this proposal, and we're really looking forward to working through it with the WAFL clubs. It's about the best. We need to be best practice in terms of developing and managing our players. That's clearly not the case. When we look at our competitors and what's happening around the league, they've certainly got the jump on us. On a recent meeting of AFL clubs, all clubs present, all 18 clubs now, it was interesting to note that Gary Pert, CEO of Collingwood, said if he was a CEO of any other club, the first thing that he would be doing would be implementing a standalone team. It's been the best thing that they've done in the recent years, and clearly the proof's in the pudding. Other clubs have not necessarily gone down that track, down the track of a line club, and they're certainly getting some benefits from that as well. We've enjoyed very much so the relationship with the WAFL clubs. Again, this is about enhancing the WAFL system and our player management as well.
The whole idea for us is to invest in West Australian football. And if we do that, we think this is the best way to do it. Because if every other club in the competition in the future ends up with a standalone team, we need to match strides with them. We need best practice. We need to make sure that we're doing the same things. We want to reinvest in Western Australian footy. And this is a lot of hard work for everyone involved. We know that, but we think it will be better for the West Australian footy, and therefore that's why we're pushing it forward. In the document you'll see that we've addressed the bottom end and the top end, and you'll need top-up players. We think the opportunities are there under this model to probably retain 3 or 4 players who are delisted players who are from the East. So they're not players who are born and bred from the WAFL clubs. They'll go back to their clubs if they're delisted. It allows us the opportunity to recruit players from interstate, the same as the WAFL rules and regulations allow, albeit that we'll be restricted by our points and salary cap, which will be much lower than the other clubs, because we don't want to be fighting with the clubs over players coming from interstate. But we'll certainly need a core group of players who are going to assist in the numbers game. We'll also have, what we've proposed is that we'll have players who can play with us on permit. So there'll be kids who aren't getting a game at another club, but the other WAFL club sees the kids as potential still, so they'd like to see how they go at WAFL level, at league level. So they'll lend them to us on a permit basis for 6 weeks. If they're making progress, we can upskill them. The WAFL club then has the opportunity to take them back after that 6-week period and perhaps play them in their league side. But they might have been one of the players from 40 to 51 that was never going to get a chance in the current system. So it allows more kids to play and more opportunity. And most of our players will be short term with us. We understand that. But we're prepared to do that, and so that the 17 or 18 players that we had a couple of weeks ago all get a chance to play together.